Yesterday, I reported that Tesla has proposed to make an electric vehicle factory in India. Now, Tesla is apparently very serious about building a new electric vehicle factory in India, according to a minister in the country. But what has changed regarding the country and the company's terms for an investment remains unclear. Because remember, I have said that Tesla previously has had some terms proposed for the Indian government, but they did not comply. Anyway, yesterday Tesla was reportedly planning to begin a reignited effort to build a new production facility in India after the company tried for nearly a year to come into terms with the Indian government on a demand test by importing vehicles at a reduced duty rate. An agreement was never reached. Talks between Tesla and India had stalled despite Tesla building out a robust team of executives that would handle the early operations of the effort. Earlier this month, we reported that Tesla was actually planning to meet with the Indian government, and subtle moves like a follow of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi by CEO Elon Musk on Twitter hinted things could be moved forward. Basically, Elon Musk started following the Indian Prime Minister on Twitter, and we realized that it's a hint that things could be moving forward. Something must have changed. Now, this morning, more fuel was added to that kind of flame as Rajeev Chandrasekhar, India's actually Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, said Tesla was quote-unquote serious about setting up a production plant in the country, Reuters reported. But what has changed in terms of what each party wants remains clear. In fact, I would like to ask you guys, the followers of our Torque News YouTube channel, do you have any idea what could have changed, what might have changed between Tesla and India that things are changing towards good? Do you think Tesla may be realizing that India is a market it cannot afford to ignore and therefore is going ahead because there is a growing and huge middle class in India now that can afford to buy especially a $25,000 Tesla? Tesla was committed to building a factory in India under one condition. It could test demand by importing vehicles from Giga Shanghai to China, in China, to see if customers in India would flock to the electric vehicle makers' cars. Of course, people were interested, but the import duties on vehicles coming from outside of India's border carried major implications in terms of pricing, doubling the cost of some cars. This would make Tesla vehicles more expensive, and Tesla didn't want to do that. This sent Tesla to the idea of having import duties reduced temporarily, which would still add cost to each unit that was sold, but would give the company an idea of whether it was worth investing billions on a factory in a market it has no real idea regarding the demand for its products. India's government, which has a heavy focus on domestic manufacturing efforts through its Make in India campaign, was less than enthusiastic about Tesla's wishes to import vehicles from another market into the country. But what has changed? Evidently, nothing is apparent when looking at it from the surface. However, Tesla has been committed to expanding its presence across the globe and wants to continue building vehicles in a variety of new markets to take advantage of the growing interest in the EV sector from a consumer standpoint. Of course, the two parties, Tesla and India, have been interested in a conglomeration that would see the electric vehicles built in the country, but Tesla is not going to commit to a massive manufacturing effort there without some sort of market research to determine whether it is worth it or not. Elon Musk will likely stand firm, but India is not one to shy away from its long-term wants to keep manufacturing within. So I think Tesla will conduct, or may have already conducted, some sort of serious market research and has concluded that India is such a huge market it cannot ignore. What do you think, friends? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This is Armen Harayan from TorqueNews.com. This is how Tesla Cybertruck's production line at Giga Texas may look like. I have seen this image yesterday by Twitter user K10. Obviously, this is not a real production line, but an imagination of a painter. But she has shared this image saying, imagine seeing this on Giga Texas factory tour. So this is like how it will look like. Look at the hardwood floor on which Tesla Cybertruck is being built. Isn't it interesting? But we will very soon see these things, because I believe within a month or two, we will see the Cybertruck starting going into production. What we have heard from Giga Texas, that Tesla is already testing the production. Yesterday, I reported that front metal castings that are reportedly meant for the Tesla Cybertruck have been spotted at the company's Texas Gigafactory by Joe Techmeyer, who flew his drone around the facility in Austin on Mother's Day and posted a set of photos as well as a video of the whole flight. A couple of the huge metal castings have been labeled with a big C, hinting at the possibility that they are intended to be used on the Cybertruck. Furthermore, at closer inspection, it looks like the parts include both front wheel wells and connecting pieces that will presumably be attached to the firewall of the truck. In the meantime, we're seeing that Tesla Cybertruck testing has expanded to public roads in Texas for what appears to be the first sighting of that all-electric pickup on street outside of California. When I reported the story yesterday about spotting the front castings, one of our Torque News YouTube channel followers said that he works at Tesla Giga Texas and that they have started testing in the Texas areas, different parts of the Texas as well. Since the Cybertruck has neared production, Tesla has been testing the vehicle on public roads since earlier this year. All of the sightings thus far have been in California, especially in the northern portion of the state where the company's operations are mainly located. Tesla used to have its headquarters in Palo Alto, which is where the earliest sightings were located. With the all-electric Cybertruck being produced in early versions of Gigafactory Texas near Austin, it has been interesting to note that there have not been any sightings of the pickup in the lone state, at least until now. A video courthouse of Dennis B on Twitter actually shows the Cybertruck on public roads in Texas for the first time. Tesla has routinely started testing vehicles that are heading toward imminent production on public roads, and the Cybertruck project has been no different. Although the vehicle is late to initial production, Tesla seems to be gearing up for the first units to be built potentially this summer and delivered in Q3. While all of the testings up to this point, like I said, has been in California, this is the first sighting of the vehicle in Texas that was not for a dedicated event. Last week, Tesla launched its lithium refinery with a groundbreaking event, and CEO Elon Musk arrived in a Cybertruck, and its appearance was eventful, to say the least. However, testing has now expanded closer to where the vehicle will actually be produced. What does this mean exactly? The details are more speculative than anything, and Tesla remains relatively tight-lipped in terms of the development and production schedule of the Cybertruck. We do know that Cybertruck production lines are up and running inside Gigafactory, Texas, based on the photographs the automaker shared during its most recent earnings call. And what I showed you earlier, that photograph is just an imagination of an artist. We also know that based on the number of different units we've seen thus far, there are quite a few prototypes of Cybertruck floating about, which design will make it to production still seems to be up in the air, but the cleanest versions, one of which was spotted at Investor Day, is most likely the ideal candidate to go for full production as the final version of Tesla Cybertruck. So are you excited? What do you think about all of these things, friends? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This is Armin Harayan from Torque News. Let's move on to our next story.